Do you know there's a simple, ancient Islamic practice that involves placing salt in a specific spot in your home? And it could bring peace, abundance, and protection. From bustling homes in Cairo to quiet villages in Indonesia, people around the world are rediscovering this forgotten sunnah. And today, even science is starting to align with what Islam taught centuries ago. So stay with me as we uncover what the Quran, real-life success stories, and prophetic guidance reveal about the sacred use of salt in your home. Watch till the end to learn exactly where to place the salt and why this small act could make a big difference in your spiritual and material life. Have you ever heard of placing salt in your home for spiritual purposes? Comment yes or no below. Spiritual symbolism of salt in Islam. In Islam, salt is not just a mineral. It carries deep spiritual meaning. It symbolizes purity, protection, and divine sustenance. The Prophet Muhammad was known to begin and end his meals with a pinch of salt. Scholars have long pointed to the wisdom behind this, both physical and spiritual. Salt purifies not just food, but environments. It preserves life and wards off decay, much like taqwa, God consciousness, preserves the soul. In traditional Islamic healing, salt is also used in ruqyah to absorb negativity and shield against hasad, envy, or the evil eye. The symbolism runs deep. As salt cleanses and preserves food, so does remembrance of Allah purify and preserve the heart. The Quran in Surah Al-Baqarah 2222 reminds us, "Indeed, Allah loves those who are constantly repentant and those who purify themselves." Salt, in its natural role, mirrors this divine principle of cleansing, making it a fitting symbol for spiritual practice in the home. Did you know this about salt in Islam? Have you or your family ever used salt for spiritual or healing purposes? Share your thoughts or stories in the comments below. The sacred place in your home. In many traditional Islamic homes, the main entrance is considered spiritually significant. It's the gateway through which both blessings and external energies enter. According to scholars of Ruqya Sharia, placing a small pinch of blessed salt in the corners of your doorway or near the threshold can help block negative spiritual influences, including hasad, envy, ayn, evil eye, and unseen disturbances. Salt, when blessed with Quranic recitation, becomes more than a substance. It becomes a tool of protection and purification. A real story from Jakarta highlights this beautifully. A woman struggling with persistent anxiety and sudden financial loss was advised by her local imam to place salt at her door after reciting Surah Al-Baqarah and Ayat al-Kursi over it. Within a few nights, she reported more peaceful sleep, a noticeable emotional calm, and even the return of a long-delayed payment. In Islam, it's not the salt itself, but the intention, dua, and trust in Allah that brings results. Try this for 7 nights. Place blessed salt at your door and recite Surah Al-Baqarah. Make dua for peace and provision. Then watch how things change, inshallah. Tag someone who needs protection, healing, or peace in their home today. Science and salt, bridging faith and reality. Salt is more than a flavor enhancer. It's a natural purifier. Scientifically, salt absorbs moisture, neutralizes bacteria, and even alters the charge in the air. That's why salt lamps are used today for their calming effects and air-purifying qualities. Across cultures, from Japanese Shintoism to pre-Islamic Arab healing traditions, salt was placed at doors or corners to ward off evil and cleanse spiritual space. These practices weren't mere superstition. They were based on observation and experience, much like prophetic traditions. Islam refined these practices with clear spiritual intention. And today, as we study energy, environment, and emotional health, science is beginning to catch up to what the Ummah has known for centuries. Physical substances like salt, when used with spiritual purpose, can transform both space and state of mind. Do you believe ancient Islamic practices like this can align with modern science? Let us know in the comments below. Quranic wealth principles. Placing salt in your home is not some magical ritual. It's a symbolic act rooted in intention, niyyah, trust in Allah, tawakkul, and the pursuit of barakah. In Islam, true wealth is never just about money. It's about peace, purpose, and provision that brings no burden. When you place salt near your entrance with a sincere dua and gratitude in your heart, it becomes a daily reminder of divine protection and a spark for deeper spiritual awareness. Allah says in Surah Ibrahim 14:7, "If you are grateful, I will surely increase you in favor." Gratitude isn't just a feeling, it's a magnet for abundance. A powerful example comes from Cairo. A man facing jealousy and household tension performed ruqya and placed blessed salt at his doorway. Alongside this, he increased his daily Quran recitation, gave sadaqah, and thanked Allah every morning. Within a month, his family received unexpected financial breakthroughs and emotional calm. Gratitude is the gateway to abundance. Pause for a moment and write 3 things you're thankful for in the comments below. How to perform it. Practical ritual. Choose pure salt, preferably rock salt or sea salt, as it's closest to its natural state. Recite the following verses over the salt with sincerity and full trust in Allah. Ayat al-Kursi, Surah 2, 255. Surah al-Ikhlas, 112. Surah al-Falaq, 113. Surah an-Nas, 114. Place a small pinch of this blessed salt at each corner of the main entrance of your home. Stand at the door and make dua for protection, barakah, and divine abundance, asking Allah to guard your household from envy, harm, and hardship. This isn't superstition. It's a niyyah-based symbolic act, grounded in prophetic teachings. Like all acts in Islam, the intention, Quranic recitation, and trust in Allah are what unlock the true blessings. Would you try this spiritual practice at home? Why or why not? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your answer might inspire someone else. Stories from the Quran. One of the most powerful stories of divine provision in the Quran is the story of Prophet Yusuf, upon him be peace. Falsely accused and unjustly imprisoned, Yusuf didn't fall into despair. Instead, he turned inward, remained patient, and placed his full trust in Allah. Through his knowledge, dream interpretation, and deep faith, Allah elevated him, transforming him from a prisoner into the treasurer of Egypt, trusted with managing an entire nation's wealth. This shows us that in Islam, wealth is not luck, it's divine planning. It comes through spiritual alignment, not just effort. Just like Yusuf used his gifts as tools within Allah's plan, we too use symbolic tools, like blessed salt, to refocus our hearts on remembrance and protection. Salt isn't the source of barakah, but the dua and intention that accompany it invite Allah's mercy and abundance into our lives. Comment trust in Allah if you believe that all provision comes from Him alone. Caution against superstition. Islam firmly condemns superstition and any acts resembling sorcery. Placing salt in your home is not a magic spell or shortcut to wealth. Rather, it's a symbolic practice deeply rooted in Quranic intention and spiritual purification, similar to how we use black seed, Nigella sativa, or practice cupping, hijama, for healing. The blessings and protection come only from Allah, and every act must be accompanied by sincere dua and trust in Him. Beware of practices that claim guaranteed worldly gains without spiritual grounding. They lead away from true tawakkul and reliance on Allah. Always base your practices on the Quran and Sunnah. Avoid anything outside of authentic Islamic teachings. Global voices, real stories. Across the Muslim world, from Nigeria to Indonesia and Pakistan, many families have embraced the practice of placing salt at their home entrances,
combined with consistent prayer, charity, and dhikr. They share heartfelt stories of how this simple act became a turning point in restoring family harmony, easing financial difficulties, and strengthening their spiritual connection. One man from Karachi said, "My father placed salt near our shop entrance and made dua every fajr. Within weeks, his long-pending payments came through." A woman in London shared, "I was skeptical, but the salt reminded me to recite daily dua. That changed my mindset, which changed my reality." These stories show that while the salt itself is a symbol, it's the faith, intention, and consistent worship that truly open doors to Allah's blessings. Where are you watching from? Drop your city in the comments and tell us if you've heard of this practice. Closing and call to action. Remember, salt itself isn't the miracle. It's your faith that opens the door to divine blessings. This practice is a way to align your heart and home with Allah's mercy. Begin with a clean heart, sincere intention, and full trust in Allah. Pair this with charity, regular dhikr, and consistent Quran recitation to nurture your spiritual and material abundance. Wealth and peace come following the light of gratitude and guidance from the Quran and Sunnah. May Allah bless your home with barakah and protection in this life and the next. Like, share, and follow for more spiritual practices grounded in the Quran and Sunnah. Drop a emoji in the comments if you'll try this and tell us what topics you'd like us to explore next.